Okay, boys and girls, today is October 13th, 2020. Today we started off our day. We actually went over an article because it's really closely related to what we're going over today, or what our story of this week is about. So we went over a headline. Of course, we know there's a headline, and then each news article, it could be either on a newspaper, on a magazine, on an online article, and we have a caption under the photograph. This is something that you don't have. This is something only that I have. A caption, again, it just describes or it explains what's going on here in the photograph. And we do notice that it has a location, so that also tells us that somebody wrote this for, again, something, an outlet in the media, either a newspaper, a magazine, any sort of print media, right? And again, this is just something about how, like it says here, a new study of fossils dug up in Texas during the Great Depression offers the best look yet of an ancient environment. How some fossils were being dug up. And again, we learned today that one of our characters in our story this week is based, again, on a true story. It's a biography based on the life of Mary Anning, and how she also dug up some fossils. So we already did the picture walk yesterday, and we started reading today from page 56 to page 59. Okay, and we'll continue with the next 4 pages tomorrow and the other 4 on Thursday. So we did do that. Make sure you do read them, because we will get tested on this on Friday. Our first vocabulary word that we went over was poverty. Poverty is another word for being poor, or the state of being extremely poor, just like it says here in the textbook. So we did write that on the reading part of our writing journal. So after our biography anchor chart, then we started writing our word webs for rare treasure. So we did poverty, and tomorrow we'll do pursued. Okay. So again, those are blank because we still haven't read up to the other words yet. Okay. For ELA, the English or the writing part of our journal, the writing and grammar part, we did write some notes on complex sentences. So they are sentences with one independent clause and one dependent clause. A dependent clause cannot stand by itself. It depends on the independent clause, while a independent clause can stand by itself. It can be a complete sentence. So these are notes for that. These were some examples below. The ones highlighted in orange are the dependent clauses. The ones highlighted in yellow are our independent clauses. And we did go ahead and box in our subordinating conjunctions. And that goes with our acronym AWOOBIS. AWOOBIS. Such a funny word, but that's the way we can remember the subordinating conjunctions, and it helps us identify that these are complex sentences. So as, although, after, while, when, unless, until, because, before, if, and since are all subordinating conjunctions. We find it here. Since Meg lost the bet, she had to do her brother's chores. So it's always in the dependent clause where we find the subordinating conjunction. Okay. So that was that. And then we went into our math lesson. We continued with our math lesson. And I forgot to mention for homework, our latter words are for homework today. So pattern highlights is always Monday. Latter words are for Tuesday. So latter words are B, BA, BAS, and so on. And then it would be BASE. These are our latter words. So those are the ones for Tuesday. That's the homework for Tuesdays for spelling. Okay. So let me go back to math. For homework, we did do page 40 and 41 are for homework today. We did those examples in class. Yesterday was supposed to be 38 and 39. If you have not done those, please make sure to practice them. They are fact families that we are practicing with this week in our basic facts. So again, you use a commutative property to switch the two factors around. That would equal the same product. And then we would go on to our division fact families. We use the product, and that becomes our dividend. So 10 divided by 1 is 10, and 10 divided by 10 is 1. Page 40, and then, of course, page 41 is also for homework, Basic Facts 8. Okay, and our lesson for today, we finished off with page 50. Again, there's measurement, or measuring in inches, measuring the line segments in inches. And we have the ruler in the back of the packet in our materials. And this is in centimeters. We are measuring in centimeters. So this is pretty simple. Okay. On our next page, this is something that you could do at home with a partner, with a sibling. This is something we did in class. So I had boys and girls. We did this together with a die, and I would roll the die. And then, for example, let's say the boys would get 1 centimeter. So then the boys would have to measure on their paper for 1 centimeter. And then it was a girl's turn, so they would measure, I would roll the die and they got 5, and they would measure 5 centimeters, and then we would just have to go from 1 to 0.6. And we just did it 6 times. But this is something, again, this could have worked better if we would have been face-to-face in partners, but again, we have to make do with what we have right now. And then we did go ahead and start with these measurements. We started with the book in inches. Our estimate was 8 inches because we used our paper clips. We did take note that a paper clip is about 8 inches, 8-inch. And then the actual measurement was between 10 to 11 inches. And then we're going to continue with our fork in our phone tomorrow. Okay, so that was pretty much it for math. And we moved on to our science lesson. We did take a quiz on science because we finished one of the lessons for matter, which was on page. We ended on page 123, 125. 125. So after that, we took a quiz on one of the Google Forms. If you have not taken it, please make sure to take it. I will be sending out messages to remind if you have not taken it. And then we did our quiz on the American Indians of the Coastal Plains. And that was found on page 112 to 117, I believe. And we started reading 118, 119 today. Okay, so again, this is another thing that I will send you all if you have not completed the quiz. And this was basically it for today, boys and girls. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know.